All right, we're in the kitchen today with the assistant manager of Mona's Roti Caribbean Food, Sasha Khan. Good to have you here.
Thank you, nice to be here.
This is one of the most perfect things for lunch, I think, or a quick dinner too. We're making roti today, right?
That's correct.
What is roti?
Roti is a flatbread. It's an Indian-style flatbread, and it was made by descendants from India in the Caribbean, and they've modified it and made a uniquely Caribbeanized version of roti or flatbread.
So that's this here.
That's correct.
It's funny, you know, every culture has its own version of flatbread. For us North Americans, you know, crackers, I guess, or the tortilla wrap. But is that similar to naan?
Similar. Naan is a flatbread, a little bit thicker. Naan would still have more of an Indian origin.
Right.
It's still made in a traditional way that people from India would make it. What we make in the Caribbean and from Trinidad specifically, this is called a dal puri. It's a type of roti that's an evolution of naan.
Okay, and so versatile. Look how huge it is. Okay.
Yep.
Great.
Yep, so I can show you. Actually, this is what your end product's going to look like. We roll it out to about 15 inches in diameter. It's a very thin flatbread, as you can see, and inside of this there's a bunch of split peas, yellow ground split peas in there.
So there's nutrition right in there.
There's nutrition right in it.
Is it made with wheat flour as well?
You can make it with wheat flour as well. This particular one is made with regular all-purpose flour, but we do make wheat versions of it as well.
Okay.
And what we do is we put our meats and curries and stuff in here, and we wrap it. I'm going to show you that at the end of the session today, just to give you some lunch today. So we're going to do everything we can to make a roti from scratch.
Brilliant.
So for us, it's very simple. We start with basics of making roti, which is flour and water. So we have regular flour, baking powder, and we make a mix that allows us to create a little bit of a dough. For us at Mona's Roti, we make hundreds of these every day. And so what you're going to see here today, we do at least 300 or 400 of these every day, and on the weekends we can get over 1,000.
By hand?
By hand.
Oh my goodness.
Now, there are parts that we try to automate, but at the end of the day, to get it as thin as you want and to have the consistency, you have to do it by hand.
Wow.
And that's what gives us our attraction. It's a really hot spot. If you come in on a Thursday or Friday or Saturday, there's usually a line out the door.
Cool.
So the first part of it is the flour, and to ensure consistency, we weigh every piece of flour that we make. So if we're doing 300 of these every day, every single piece of flour is going to be weighed one at a time to make sure we're at the same weight. So what we do is we get this one out to about 4.5 ounces, and we flatten it out a little bit, like that, see?
Okay.
All right. And now we're going to fill it, which is the fun part, which is the secret part. Well, we're going to show you. It's not really that secret, but it's kind of fun.
All right.
So right now, what we're going to do is we're going to insert split peas into it. And split peas is yellow split peas.
So the actual split peas or the ground version?
It's the actual split peas. What we do is we wash them, we boil it, we crush it, and then we season it with salt and cumin and other spices.
And that's what this is.
And this is what you get, a little bit of a mush, a little bit of a very soft mush.
So all that, here, a little piece fell out. Mm-hmm. Ooh, that's nice.
It's nice, and that's what gives it this flavor.
So fiber, protein.
Protein, fiber, a little bit of salt, cumin, so it's all healthy for you. And what we do is we put a little flour on the inside of this thing, and we insert our split peas in the middle of it. It's very simple. Now, I'll be honest, my mom does this a lot better than I do it. I have the man hands. They do this magically with their hands, so I have a little bit of an unorthodox technique, but it works. But we basically put the flour around it.
Now, the obvious question is, why not start with the bean curd and the flour at the very beginning? You
know, and what that does is it makes it into if you do it that way, it goes into the texture of the flour and it cooks at different temperatures. And what we found is that to get the right mix, you've got to pre-cook this because you're only cooking the flour for maybe a minute on the fire. So you've got to make sure that all of your internal ingredients have been cooked for a longer period of time. Okay, so I just do that, and now what I end up with is a nice little ball. And now we're going to turn a ball like this into one of those.
Okay.
So usually after we've done this part of the process, we'd actually let this rest. And resting is a common term that you hear in the baking industry.
Pastry,
you just can't, you gotta let it rest. So I won't roll this one for you. I have one that I did this morning.
Okay.
So I'm gonna take the exact same concoction out.
This one's had a good nap.
This one's had a good nap. It's all ready to go. And what we do is very straightforward. We make sure it's a nice ball because we want to make a nice round product at the end of the process. And we just kind of mush it down like that. Now what am I doing here? What I'm doing here is I'm spreading out that peas all the way around inside there, so it's going to get to all inside of the roti.
Okay.
So we just...
And it just squishes in there?
Yeah, it just squishes it nicely. All right. Put a little bit of flour on both sides. All right. And now we get the magic rolling pin out. And we're going to roll it out. And the idea here for us in
And
Trinidad.
how come it's not squishing out all over the place?
And that's part of the trick. To make a good dal puri, you want all of your ingredients to stay on the inside.
Interesting.
It's about finding the right consistency, the right texture, and making sure that you let it rest. Because if you don't let it rest, it's going to break through.
We've got about 3 minutes. This is so fascinating. I had no idea this is how roti was made.
Right. And now we would do this, like I said, the same process you're seeing here. We would do this for every single roti that's being made. So
hundreds of them per day.
Hundreds of them per day. So you roll it out to about.
The other obvious comparison is pizza, but it's not quite the same.
Not quite the same. No. So there we go. I think we've got it pretty good. It's almost pretty round there. Obviously, not as good as my mother would do it, but you know.
Sasha, you didn't. Why didn't you? Well, that's what you're going to hear.
Absolutely. And you know, they asked me before I came on, "What's my title?" And I said, "Son," because I pretty much do everything there. So that's what it is. But look, this is what we end up with. As you can see here, it's the texture. It's very thin.
Yeah.
There's no holes in it, and you can see the yellow of the split peas now has gone all throughout the interior of the product.
Brilliant.
All right, so that's what we would do. Now at this point in time, what we would do is put this onto a tawa, which is a cooking surface, which is really no more than a flat grill, something that you'd see at a Japanese restaurant that they cook
the beef and everything else.
Exactly, it's a flat grill. You put it on the grill, a little bit of vegetable oil on one side, flip it over after 20 seconds, a little bit of vegetable oil on the other side, and you're done.
But we don't have that.
We don't have that.
So you brought this one.
I brought one pre-made for you.
Okay. Let's wrap it up.
Let's wrap it up and show you what a meal would look like. So I'm going to make for you a curry chicken roti, which is very, very popular in Trinidad. Oh, so that's boiling and simmering quite nicely there for you.
So you've made this in the restaurant.
That's right.
This is chicken and potatoes.
Chicken and potatoes with a little bit of seasoning and curry. We've got some coriander in there. There's different types of curry in there. There's cumin.
Oh, I love the smell of cumin.
Okay, there you go. A potato, some more chicken. Let's give you a nice portion size here, so that you can.
And you would call this the what roti?
This is the curry chicken roti.
This is the curry chicken roti. That's what I'll order next time.
Right.
Okay.
You can then put different condiments on there to spice it up. We can put pickled pepper, pickled mango, which we call kuchela, or you can put some hot sauce on there. And again, very simple concept. This is, remember, a lunch to take away. It's a sandwich. We would fold, 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 fold.
And that's it.
That's it.
Do you eat with your hands, or are you supposed to?
Well, we typically would eat with your hands. We would wrap it in a wax paper for you, and you can eat it like a sandwich. This is one of the most popular dishes you can find in Trinidad. It's a very, very easy to find snack. Here in Toronto, you can find a coffee shop on pretty much every corner. You can pretty much find a roti shop on almost every corner.
Right?
Yeah.
Do they sell it on the streets too? Are there little vendors?
Absolutely.
Really?
After a nightclub, you would find a large lineups at clubs in Trinidad to eat something like this after as well.
Brilliant. What's your favorite flavor? If you were choosing to eat your own lunch, what would you pick?
It would be curry chicken.
Yeah?
That's the staple. You have, but
Classic.
we do curry chicken, curry goat, curry shrimp. We do stew beef, stew chicken. You can get a bunch of veggies in there: pumpkin, spinach.
Can we control the spice?
You can control the spice in all of it.
Really?
Absolutely. We also make a lot of roti for people to take home, like bread, and this is for you.
Oh, yay!
So this is going to be, we make 6 rotis in here. We seal them, we vacuum seal them in plastic. They freeze really well. I have customers that come from Ohio, from all over the States, and they'll take them back to the States. Sometimes they ask for them to be packaged in smaller packages so they can freeze them.
And that'll keep in the freezer.
This will stay in the freezer for months.
I got to try this before we go. monasroti.com. Be sure to check out rogerstv.com. We have a lot of the recipes you've seen prepared on the show. I got to try this.
Go right ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sasha, you're a genius.
Thank you.
I love it. monasroti.com.